Welcome everybody to the start of the Mini TT, also known as Oliver's Mount racing track, one of the most famous racing tracks in the UK. Here we are going from Scarborough Gold Cup winners, and then over here we've got the famous race known as the Cock of the North. It's been going since 1947 when Sid Barnett won on a 490 Norton, going up to Gary McCoy in 2024 where he won on a 600 Suzuki CSXR. So here we are on the starting grid, up to pole position. Here's my starting place, and off we go. Here we've got one of the vantage points for the people to sit and spectate. So when the next race is on, the Cock of the North, this hill will be full of spectators. You can see up there in the hill there's a bridge that's for people to cross over. So we start off on the first bend, the farm bends, which is tight hairpin bend, really testing the riders, putting them through the paces. On a day like today, it would be testing them because of the wetness, and it goes straight up a large ascent. Still climbing. We'll take a look down the hill. You can't really tell how steep it is, but it's a really steep little track. On the hillside here we've got what looks like it used to be an old quarry. I'm not certain about that, but I'd imagine this is where they used to use or gather some sandstone to build some of the houses around in this area. Nearly got to the summit of the mount. At the top there is a war memorial which we'll see in a moment. In the summer there's a little caravan park for anybody who wants to stay. It's probably quite a good place if you want to get some panoramic views. Over onto one of the first bends. Lots of safe places for people to cross over. You've got the hills in the background. As you can see, there's a little storm rolling in. It's the first rain it's been for quite a while here, so kind of need it. After this little bend we've got one of the straights coming up. It's also a popular site for anybody who's doing exercise, whether it be cycling or running. So if you come here on a nice sunny day, that cafe would be a good place to go and refresh, take up some scenic views of the area. Then over here we've got Oliver's Mount War Memorial. This is a place of remembrance for fallen soldiers who lost their lives in World War One and World War Two. It's one of the main landmarks in the town, which can be seen from all around the town. So as you can see, it's not the greatest day for views, but you can imagine on a day when it's not so cloudy like this, there's panoramic views of the whole town itself. Over in the distance there you've got Scarborough Castle, another one of the main landmarks here. Just going to push on, another tight bend coming up. It's probably quite a thrilling ride for any of the motorbike riders here. I'd imagine this corner is quite dangerous though. As I said, obviously not on this bend though, but speeds are reached up to 170 miles an hour on the motorbikes while on this track. So the motorbikers would follow this bend round here and then go tightly down this hill. There's a car coming, so better get out of the way. So there is one of the descents. Instead of going down the hill, we're going to follow one of the pedestrian footpaths which take the pedestrians safely to the lower areas of the track. It's also quite a scenic route. Little warning sign there. It's almost quite eerie in this darkness. So this path just, as I said, this is one of the pedestrian paths that lead you down to the lower areas of the track. Just going to follow it down. You can see over there how high the track or what climb the motorbikers have to go up. Slippy on the feet. On the plus side, it's good shelter here. This is kind of good ground for deer. You do get some deer in this area. Lots of places for them to take shelter. If we're lucky, we might see one here today. This is the bracken. There's lots of ticks on them. So that is a relative of the spider, but they drink blood. You might have had them on your dogs, and they cause a disease called carry a disease called Lyme disease. We've nearly reached the bottom of the descent, not much further to go. Then we'll be back to the lower area of the track where the starting grid is and where we began. And here we are, back at the bottom. Nearly took a little tumble there. And here we are back onto the final straight, leading back to the starting line. Quite a panoramic view here. Over in the distance there's the cows with the little baby calves. Lots of good grass for them to graze on, grow strong. One of the things that makes this track so popular and famous is that it's on public roads. As you can see, there's the speed limit, 30 miles an hour. On race day that won't be kept. Typical English weather. Just as we're reaching the end of the route, the rain's subsiding, and here we are, back to the last few meters of the track and where we all began. So if you're in town one day when the racing's on, it's probably worth coming to check it out. The tickets range from about £30 for the day or 50 to 60 for the weekend. Little friend coming to say hello. Hello little horsey, how are you? Alright mate. Nay. Can you hear the train? See what it's like. Hello? Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the little tour around Oliver's Mount racetrack, and see you next time.